Taehyung in Celine, one appearance that left millions of fans in awe. Hello, ARMY all around the world. Wherever you are right now, whether it's early morning light filtering through your window, the middle of a busy afternoon, or a quiet night when everything feels still, I want you to pause for a moment. Because today, we're not just talking about fashion. We're talking about presence. About evolution. About a single appearance that managed to captivate millions, without noise, without exaggeration, without trying too hard. Just Kim Taehyung. Standing in Celine. It began like any other day. No dramatic teaser. No mysterious countdown clock. No headline screaming for attention. Just one image. And yet, the moment it appeared, something shifted. Timelines slowed down. Scrolling stopped. Group chats lit up almost instantly. There is a certain energy that surrounds Taehyung whenever he appears in public. It's subtle but powerful. It doesn't beg for attention. It simply commands it. And this time, dressed in Celine, that energy felt amplified. Celine is not just a luxury fashion house. It represents a distinct aesthetic, clean lines, sharp silhouettes, understated rebellion, a kind of quiet confidence that doesn't need validation. It's refined but bold. Minimal, yet emotionally charged. And somehow, when Taehyung wears it, the synergy feels almost destined. The jacket rested perfectly along his shoulders, structured yet effortless. The fabric moved naturally with him, not stiff, not forced. The trousers elongated his silhouette, creating a sharp, almost cinematic frame. The accessories were minimal, intentional. Nothing distracted from the whole. And then there was his gaze. Calm. Grounded. Unshaken. He wasn't smiling widely. He wasn't striking an overdramatic pose. He was simply standing there. And somehow, that was enough to make millions pause. That's the rare quality Taehyung carries. In an era dominated by loud visuals and exaggerated trends, he understands the power of restraint. He understands that sometimes, the quietest presence is the most unforgettable. People often say, he makes it look effortless. But effortlessness like that comes from years of growth. From experience. From understanding oneself deeply. Taehyung has always had a unique relationship with style. Since BTS's early years, his fashion choices have reflected his artistic personality: vintage coats, patterned scarves, classic tailoring, unexpected textures. He experiments, but never loses himself in the experiment. Fashion, for him, has never felt like a costume. It feels like expression. And when that expression meets a brand like Celine, something extraordinary happens. Because it's not just about wearing a designer label. It's about embodying its spirit. When fans and even fashion critics commented, "He doesn't wear Celine. He is Celine," it wasn't just admiration, it was recognition. Recognition of how naturally he merges with the brand's DNA. There's a quiet rebellion in Celine's aesthetic. There's a poetic edge to its simplicity. And Taehyung, an artist known for his deep love of jazz, art, photography, and mood-driven creativity, fits that world seamlessly. But what makes this moment even more powerful is the journey behind it. This is the same Taehyung who once stood nervously on small stages. The same young trainee who practiced tirelessly behind the scenes. The same artist who grew under immense pressure and global scrutiny. Years have passed. Stages have become bigger. Audiences have multiplied. And yet, he stands today not just as a performer, but as a global cultural figure. Every camera flash capturing him in Celine isn't just capturing fabric and tailoring. It's capturing evolution. It's capturing the transformation of a boy with a dream into a man who shapes industries. Because let's be honest, fashion is a powerful world. It's competitive, selective, and built on image. To stand out in that space requires more than beauty. It requires identity. And Taehyung has one of the strongest identities in modern pop culture. He doesn't chase trends. He doesn't reinvent himself for every headline. He refines who he already is. That's why this appearance resonated so deeply. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't overwhelming. It was controlled. And that control speaks volumes. Millions of fans felt it immediately. There were messages of pride, of admiration, of quiet emotional reflection. Because longtime supporters understand what moments like this represent. They represent growth that didn't happen overnight. They represent resilience. They represent a steady climb, not a sudden jump. In a world where viral fame can disappear as quickly as it appears, Taehyung's impact feels enduring. This wasn't just a trending topic. It was a statement. A reminder that presence can be more powerful than performance. That confidence can be more striking than extravagance. That simplicity, when owned completely, becomes unforgettable. And perhaps the most beautiful part of it all was how natural he looked. He didn't seem overwhelmed by the luxury of the brand. He didn't look intimidated by the cameras. He looked at home. As if he had stepped exactly into the space he was always meant to occupy. And that's when you realize, this is no longer about proving anything. It's about belonging. Belonging in the global fashion conversation. Belonging in rooms once considered distant. Belonging at the intersection of music, art, and high fashion. Kim Taehyung and Celine is more than a collaboration of image. It is a symbol of arrival. But it is also a symbol of continuation. Because this is not the final destination. It is another chapter. Another stepping stone in a career that continues to expand in unexpected, beautiful ways. If one appearance can create this much impact, if one still image can make the world collectively pause, imagine what lies ahead. Future campaigns, future stages, future eras that will carry his name in ways we can't even predict yet. Because with Taehyung, nothing ever feels accidental. Every step is measured. Every appearance carries intention. Every silence speaks louder than noise. Taehyung has always moved at his own pace, quietly, thoughtfully, intentionally. While the industry races forward, chasing trends and headlines, he walks steadily, almost effortlessly. And somehow, that calm confidence becomes more striking than any loud declaration ever could. And perhaps that is why his presence feels so powerful. He does not rush. He does not shout. He does not need to prove. He simply stands. And the world adjusts around him. Cameras shift. Conversations change. Timelines flood. Not because he demands attention, but because attention naturally finds him. ARMY, maybe that's why moments like this feel personal. Because you've witnessed the growth. You've seen the quiet doubts turn into certainty. You've watched the shy smiles evolve into steady gazes. You've seen him experiment, fall, rise, refine, and redefine himself, year after year. You were there when he was discovering who he wanted to be. And now, seeing him stand in Celine, calm, composed, magnetic, it feels like watching a promise fulfilled. A promise he once made not with words but with dedication. Not the end of a journey, but proof that the journey is working. Proof that patience builds something lasting. Proof that authenticity never fades. Proof that when an artist grows from within, the world eventually reflects that growth back to him. Kim Taehyung is not just part of the global conversation. He is shaping it, influencing it, redefining what quiet power looks like in an industry built on noise. And if this moment taught us anything, it's this. True influence doesn't demand attention. It earns it. Slowly, steadily, undeniably. And this is not a peak. It's a turning point. A gentle signal that something even bigger is forming behind the scenes. Because when Taehyung stands still, the world moves. And when he decides to move,